What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be doing a Q&A. You guys sent me some questions on my personal Instagram, Easy Mike Breezy, so if you want a chance to be featured in the next Q&A, if we do another one, go hit me with a follow on Instagram. Link might be down in the description below. It might not be, but Easy Mike Breezy on Instagram, you'll find me there. So I just chose some of the most interesting / important / pertinent information kind of questions, pretty much ones I just felt like answering. So I got a few here that I'm going to answer for you guys, and hopefully it helps you guys learn something, and there's also some entertaining ones in here. So let's get right into it. So first question we got is, what do you look at when you're reading patterns? I'm assuming this means like a lane graph, but I'll go over both lane graph and like if I'm warming up for a tournament. So on a lane graph, there's a lot of information on there. If you look at like the typical Kegel lane graph, maybe it'll come up on the screen here. There's a lot of information to take in, but kind of the few places I like to focus are on the length, the total volume, and the type of conditioner or type of oil that they are using. That is all information that's going to be on the top. And then sometimes I'll just look at the ratio just to get an idea, and I'll look at the little graph on the bottom of like the lane level view, kind of just see where the cliff or the slope of the pattern is, if there is any. And then one that I really like to look at to really get a gauge of maybe how hard or how much the gutter is going to hook is I like to go to that top left box over there, and it kind of shows you the loads going forward. So I'll pay attention to those 2 to 2s. It'll say 2L, 2R, and then it'll give you load number, and then it'll give you start, end distance, and speed, things like that. I like to pay attention to that number because what that is, it's pretty much where the machine is applying oil on the tube board from the left side all the way to the right side, just straight across. So that start and end distance will tell you how far it is taking oil 2 to 2 down the lane. So as you can guess, probably the higher the loads are, the more it's putting down, and the longer it goes, the longer that the gutter probably doesn't hook. So I would say anything over 5 loads is a lot, and you know, anything in the double digits for distance is probably pretty far. So you can count on them being pretty hard, or at least the gutter's not hooking. You hope that you're bowling on a long pattern if that's the case, so you're just playing the middle of the lane. But that is a way for the lane man to eliminate the gutter, is by using more 2 to 2. So I'll pay attention to that. And then when I'm warming up for a tournament, I'll typically throw balls as far right as I can, kind of up the gutter, so I get a sense of where my ball is hooking, where I'm allowed to get it to down lane. Because if you bowl on a house shot and you throw your first shot up the gutter, typically it'll just hook all the way into the left gutter. That's how you know they're pretty easy. Probably not a lot of 2 to 2s. On the flip side, you bowl on something real hard, they're probably going to be real slick out there. Ball might just go in the gutter. So that's how I like to read patterns, both on the graph and while I'm on the lane. Second question, what separates PBA players from guys averaging 240 in their leagues? I like this question a lot because 240 in league, the score itself is higher than what the guys on tour are bowling, but I think we can hopefully all agree that the PBA guys are the best of the best. And what separates the PBA guys from the league bowlers is one, knowledge and how to manipulate the lane and how to manipulate your ball to match what the lane is giving you. And 2, ball roll. I think that's the most important one, because for a lot of league bowlers who strike a lot, who average 240, they probably throw it a decent speed. They're kind of splashing the pins around a lot. Don't necessarily get their ball into a roll consistently all the time, but they're hitting the pocket a lot. They got a lot of power, so the pins are splashing around. That's how you kind of strike a lot during, you know, league and house shots. What the guys on tour do, they get the ball to hook earlier than most anybody on the planet, because it's just a product of what is being laid out there on the tour. So you just learn a different skill set. That's why PBA guys can get urethane balls to hook so much. It's just a ball roll thing, and we're also able to hook the lane a little bit more just because it's a skill set. It's a ball roll thing, and that sometimes is why the PBA guys don't strike too much on house shots, is because we kind of get the ball to hook too much, and then we have to move super far left, and then the lanes get cliffed, and then house shots feel difficult. So they just have a different skill set, but that's pretty much what separates the tour guys from your local league champion, is ball roll and manipulating the lanes and the ball. Next question, what does it take to make it to the PBA Tour? Well, in a very literal sense, you get your card. You qualify to get your card, and then you can make it to the PBA Tour as long as you can get exempt or make it through Rabbits. But I kind of know where this question's coming from. What kind of things do you need to be able to do to be successful out on the tour? And kind of goes to the last question. You got to be able to create the ball roll that's going to be able to hook early, but still be able to continue down lane. And that's kind of the magic thing there. And it's very tricky to accomplish. Not a lot of guys can do it. You got to be able to take what the lane's giving you and capitalize on it. You can't really do what the lane's not asking you to, because I guarantee you EJ is going to be doing the right thing on the lane, and if you're trying to do something that the lane's not asking you to do, you're giving him that handicap, and he's already the best bowler on planet Earth right now. So you got to be able to figure out what the lane's giving you and then trying to take advantage of that. And then when you strike, you got to strike. That's super important. If a lane is giving you a 270 opportunity, you got to go and get 270, 260, something like that. You can't be giving up those sticks, because those guys are going to go to those pairs and they're going to shoot scores. So you got to really be able to strike. You got to capitalize. And then being a great spare shooter is also another thing. It really helps. You don't really want to be giving away 11, 12 pins every time you miss a spare to the best bowlers in the world. So in a very simple sense, you got to be able to knock down pins in bunches. But you got to be able to see the lane the way it needs to be saw, and you got to be able to create the motions that are necessary to be able to strike when the lane is giving you an opportunity to strike. Not a very good answer, but that's kind of what it is. All right, next question we got here. How do you know what ball to throw on a pattern if more than one ball looks good in practice? Well, there's an issue with that. If you've got multiple balls that look good in practice, that probably means that a lot of your balls do the same thing. It either means that or you're bowling on something incredibly easy. So if it's the first thing, where a lot of your balls do the same thing, you should probably reassess your arsenal, go to your pro shop operator, come to TV Bowling Supply, and then we could take a look at that for you. And then if it's the second thing, where you're just bowling on something that's pretty easy, I would probably pick the ball that's going to strike the most, going to be a little more aggressive with the motion on the back end. But if I'm bowling on a sport pattern, something that's a little bit harder, and I have like 2 or 3 balls that look like they're getting into the pocket pretty well, pretty consistently, typically for me, as a personal preference, I'm going to try and take the smoother, slower one, because I know it's going to be a little more controllable. It's going to hit the pocket probably a little bit more on my misses. And then from there, I'll use my skill set, my versatility, my little tools to be able to get the ball to strike a little bit more. And as the lane transitions, I'm really going to exercise those tools to really try and get that ball to strike as much as it can before I got to get out of it. But to be able to do that, you got to have the versatility, and you also have to have the knowledge of what your balls are doing so you can make an educated ball change after that ball is done. Because if you go with the smoother ball, that's probably going to be the ball that you get out of quickest in the transition. Alrighty, now we're getting into the fun questions. These are less informative, but a little more fun. Who would be the best left-hander on tour if all the righties became lefties? So it's a slightly different game over there on the left side. Obviously, they don't move quite as much because there's not as many lefties, and topography of the lane doesn't really require you to move as much. So with that being said, you need someone who, especially on tour, who can create power. You need someone who can create power and someone who can put it there more often than not. And someone who has the right ball roll to be able to get the ball to pick up, especially urethane balls, because those are very prevalent on the left side. But I'm still going with EJ Tackett because he's the best. You're telling me that you're going to make EJ not move as much and he could just stand in a more similar spot rather than moving across the whole lane and just keep putting shots there? He's got the power. He's got ball roll to be able to do whatever and to strike. He can throw urethane. He can throw reactive. For now, on this very day, at this very time, I'm picking EJ because he is the best no matter whether you're right-handed or left-handed. But I was thinking about this question, and to give you guys a little bit more of an exciting answer, just based on ball roll, I think, I might pick like a Sam Cooley. It's a very heavy ball roll, and when he gets striking a lot. So super high rev rate, low tilt. He'll get urethane balls to hook where they shouldn't. He does that on the right side as well. So those are my two answers. And number 6, the 6th question of this Q&A. Do you ever feel like you live in your brother's shadow? I'm not sure how that would even be possible, considering he's like 5'7" and I'm 6 feet tall. So no, I don't ever feel like I'm living in his shadow. But on a more serious note, no, I don't. I would say growing up, I would say either he was a little bit ahead and then I would jump ahead and then he would jump ahead and then I would jump ahead. It was always pretty competitive growing up, so never felt like I was in his shadow. I don't know if he felt that way at any point in time, but I can tell you at no point in our careers did we think the other was better than we were. I think we just had that supreme self-confidence about ourselves, up until I decided not to bowl anymore, because now that I don't bowl anymore, he should be better than me. He gets he gets the reps in, and he's still bowling, and for what it's worth, he probably is better than me now. So, but when we were competing every time, you have to have that mentality that you are better than the other person. So I think what we like to do is we like to uplift each other now, because we know that the better that the other does, it's beneficial for both of us, as we kind of have been branded as a pair. Not so much nowadays because he's doing his own thing, but that's just kind of a good saying and a good way to live life anyways. If you're trying to uplift the people around you, uplift your friends, it helps everybody. No need to get jealous. I don't get jealous over his success. I'm actually very happy for him, very proud that he is doing what he is doing. He is elevating and taking bowling to the next level where it needs to go. Bigger on social media, bigger on YouTube. It's where it needs to go. Bowling's evolving, and that way is through social media. So it's good. I'm very happy for him. The only reason why I have this YouTube channel is because he kind of pushed me to do it, and he helped it grow early on, helped me get to 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 subscribers. So definitely don't feel like I live in a shadow. We're kind of in two different parts of the industry now. He's more into the entertainment / still competing, and I'm obviously here in a pro shop. I really enjoy what I do. I enjoy taking my experiences and my knowledge, the things that I've learned, bowling out on the tour and talking to the people that I have, and bringing that knowledge to the everyday customer so they can get the bowling experience that hopefully they want, or that hopefully they didn't even know was possible. It's super rewarding to get guys come in and they're like, wow, I've never seen my ball do that, or I just drill a ball for a guy and he comes back in, I bowled my first 300, things like that. That is the stuff that I enjoy. So we're kind of in two different realms of bowling right now, and it's kind of nice, I guess, but I can kind of understand where this question comes from, because he's quite a bit more famous than I am now. But no, I don't feel like I live in his shadow. Never really have, and I'm super happy for him, and always going to cheer for him to try and get to 1 million subscribers. Hopefully he does get there. That'd be really cool. And my thing was, I always hope that my subscriber count is within 10% of what his is, and we're doing pretty good at that right now. So nope, the answer is no to that question. All right, and probably the most asked question, when are you coming back out on tour? Well, that answer is I don't have any plan to do that in the immediate future or the not so immediate future. Again, I really enjoy what I do. I like being in a pro shop. I really enjoy the technical side of bowling. I'm growing my knowledge of this side of the game a little bit more, and I like taking those things that I learn and my experiences, like I said, and giving it to the everyday person. I enjoy helping people, not necessarily coaching too much, but if I can get their equipment right, or if someone really, really wants coaching, I do that as well. But just any way I can help people get better at bowling, that's the way that I like to live my life currently. And I enjoy coming home to my family every day. And yeah, sorry to disappoint anybody that wanted me to come back on a tour, but I don't have any plans to do so. I might come out for a Masters every now and then, but you're not going to see me being a full-time bowler again. You know, maybe if TV Bowling Supply becomes an empire, maybe if we manage to have 10 shops and 10 employees, and one of those employees isn't me, I'll go out and dabble in a few more. But I think when that happens, kids will be a little bit older, and I'll probably be more interested in trying to play competitive golf. I'm not going to get professional, but playing like golf tournaments would be fun. Just dedicating a little more time to golf. I don't practice. I just go out and play, and it's pretty miserable. So that would be a new thing to try and get better at. It's just a new challenge, and I really enjoy playing golf. Try and play that more than bowling. So yeah, the likelihood of finding me out on the tour is pretty low. So if you want to see me, come into TV Bowling Supply, come get a ball drilled, come buy a pair of shoes, buy some chamois, and that's where you're going to find me. But thank you guys so much for asking all these questions. It was a lot of fun answering them. If you are interested in asking more, or if you want another Q&A to happen, drop a comment down below and follow me on Instagram, EasyMikeBreezy, and you'll have a chance to be featured in the next Q&A. So that is it, guys. We're well on the way, very close to 40,000 subscribers. You know, when we get there, we give away another bowling ball. So please hit that subscribe button. And that is it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. And sorry that I'm not going to come out on tour anymore. But you can find me here, TV Bowling Supply. And I'll see you guys behind the front desk.